And welcome into another edition of DETV Sports. Welcome live inside our Wilmington studios. As always, the crew is back, joined, of course, by Jason McCall, Matthew Maurer, Dennis Pritchett. Behind the glass, as always, apologize a little bit of a delayed start. What an action-packed night it has been here on Market Street. It's been, I know we had a live studio audience here, the DJs with some fantastic music leading us in our pre-show meeting. It has been a fun Monday evening. We're going to dive in now and make it a little quick tonight as we've got a lot to get through, but we're going to get through it all in a nice matter of time. Jason McCall back. As always, we did not have the luxury of having you last week. We went over our quarterback list. We talked a little bit about baseball. We missed you, but we're happy to have you back here tonight and excited to get your top 10 quarterback list as well as some other things. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Enjoying this fatherhood thing. Staying in the house and relaxing and chilling. But just living life, man. One day at a time. Still in school and everything. Summer classes started a few weeks ago, so trying to knock that out and
congratulations on your niece and role. Tell everybody at home your recently announced new position.
Oh yeah, so just a little something I do. At the Delaware State University. Delaware State University Alumni Association, we have started a band affinity group, which is essentially the Alumni Association for the marching band. And I was elected president last week.
There we go. Hey, El Presidente.
El Presidente.
Hey, that's what's up.
So if you want to put your money where your mouth is, please support Delaware State University Approaching Storm Marching Band. If you want more information, you can hit us up in the chat, and I can get information to you, but we use all your support.
Getting after it as the president. Already getting after it. Gotta love to see that. Congratulations, Jason. Happy to be back with you here on a Monday. Also, speaking of Del State, call the DIAA back. We want to play those state championship football games at Delaware State. Let's get that rolling. We'll get the ball rolling there. It's okay. I want to do that. Let's get those kids a nice venue for next year. Of course, pulling out of the University of Delaware will no longer be the home site for the high school state championships. The price just a little bit too much, as they were charging about $71,000 a year for.
If you don't want the ADs, all in the videos, all on the field, come on down Alumni Stadium, Del State. We'll take it.
Again, Delaware's been a phenomenal host there the last few years, but that, of course, changing, so we'll see where they end up. Hopefully it's back at Del State. That's where we played my state championship game back in 2010. I loved it there. I think I got a phenomenal field, so let's get it back there, Delaware State. We'll be awaiting that phone call. Matthew, how you doing? Last time we talked on Monday, we went through our quarterback list, and we were on the way out, and you said, tonight's my NCAA football night. We are now a week removed.
Yeah.
How is EA Sports college football? It's back. How is your team, and how's everything going? How was your last week of the game, I guess I should say here as we start back?
Well, it's been great for me. I don't know about other people in my house that can't get to the TV because I'm playing it. But, yeah, it was been great, man. I took New Mexico. Shout out Lobos, and got titles,
Bringing titles to New Mexico.
Bringing titles to New Mexico. Just excited just to have a game back. With college athletes, I'm glad that they got some money. I would like to see more representation of the FCS. Wasn't any real colleges there. I mean, I even wanted to see Delaware there because I know Delaware's going to be making the change soon.
Yeah. So maybe next year's game, hopefully.
Maybe next year. There is a team builder thing that they're putting together that you can build your team, and I guess
a lot of effort, though.
Yeah, a lot of effort. Import logos and all that other stuff.
Oh, man.
So far the game's been good though. I can't really complain. I mean, it's not perfect, but compared to what we had,
10 years and nothing.
I still think it's better than Madden. So I've been having fun, man.
Madden can be frustrating games.
Listen, man, EA Sports, we got 107 HBCUs. Pay those athletes too. Put them on the game, man. Officially, they won the game before. Put them back on there now.
Yeah, I agree. There you go.
And Archie Manning, you corny, bro.
Oh yeah,
should have took that check and put yourself in the game, bro.
He's not in it still. I thought he was going to do that. He still hasn't done it yet, huh?
So he's like Jordan back in the day on NBA Live. Player 99.
NBA Live 96 was a PlayStation. It was just player. I'd be like, Dad, what's going on with that? He was like, player. Man, there you go, player 23. Whatever. Let's get going here, guys. Short show tonight with everything that has happened. But, Jason, I want to start with you here because last week Matthew and I went over baseball for the first time this year at the All-Star break, talking about the Phillies, the Orioles, some of these local teams, as well as all the other news going on in baseball. Ohtani hit a 473-foot shot yesterday. Orioles, your team, who we talked about, are up there. The Phillies, Matthew and my team, are up there as well. Both of them playing very well this year. We went over our possible World Series scenarios. That's the one that I'm hoping to see here in late October. Give us your rundown of what you see from the Orioles baseball so far as we get back out of the All-Star break and your World Series prediction.
I'll say this. The Orioles had a pretty good run last year. Just ran into a solid Texas Rangers team. Ended up winning the whole thing. Yeah. Anyway, but the Orioles are pretty much picking up where they left off last year. Now we have a full year of Gunnar and all the other guys, Adley Rutschman. They both made the All-Star team. We had 4 All-Stars. The Orioles are the second best team winning percentage-wise in baseball. Their first AL team with 60 wins. I believe Phillies has the lead over them overall record by like 2 games maybe. But you got to think about teams.
That series too this year.
You still got to think about teams like Houston in the AL, like Seattle in the AL. Cleveland's been playing well.
Yeah, really well.
And then in the NL, the Dodgers are always a threat. You say Shohei hit the home run, second longest home run ever in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
And I mean, the NL Central was always an interesting division in baseball because
Especially this year, right?
the Cardinals can always get hot. When you have Nolan Arenado and those guys, they're always a threat. So the NL is going to be interesting too, but Atlanta's fell off the face of the earth, injuries and everything else. I know Ozzy Albies just hurt his wrist,
I believe.
Yeah, so he's out 8 weeks now. So they're already without Ronald Acuna Jr. for the rest of the season. So
Spencer Strider, and again, we've seen the Phillies right. Every time the Braves have won the division, it's been the Phillies as the wild card team that have beaten them. This year, it's looking like we might see a change of the guard. Maybe the Phillies going to be the team to potentially win the division. But how will the playoffs shake out now? It's been well for the Phillies coming out of the wild card. So I'm just hoping that they have that same playoff success if they're able to win that division, take that little rest for the first couple of days of the playoffs.
I mean, when you get players like Bryce Harper back playing healthy, I guess now, and then you got the best catcher in baseball coming back with JT Realmuto. It's what it is. He's the best catcher in baseball.
Who might be number 2 or 3 is Rutschman.
I mean, his first game back, a strike to second base, get the base runner.
And not only that, and to your point, Jason, is the fact that calling the games from behind the plate, right? The pitch cast, working with the pitchers. That ERA for the Phillies, ticked up a little bit without him being behind the plate with those young guys. So it's great to have him back.
And like I said, in this segment, World Series is going to be a rematch of the '83 World Series.
There it is. That's what I like to hear, except different result, right?
No, same result as '83. Orioles win.
Well, that's what I would love to see that World Series. I know Matthew and I talked last week about a potentially Yankees-Phillies World Series in which we would rather have. And I know it would be satisfying to beat the Yankees in a World Series. I know that was Matthew's point of view last week. But again, for me, I would love to see the Orioles and Phillies go at it. Short drive. Might have to go to a couple of those games.
Yankees don't have the depth.
And they have been one of the worst teams in baseball over the last couple of weeks. They've been horrible.
But the Orioles' issue is the closer because when Felix got hurt last year.
Good luck with Craig Kimbrell.
He hasn't come back yet. Craig, man.
And I think the Phillies and the Orioles are two teams that are going to make a move at the deadline.
This guy?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I think the Orioles and the Phillies are two teams. The Orioles got tons of prospects and stuff to work with. I think the Phillies got some action too. I think both of them are going to be teams to make moves at the deadline.
Question for y'all. It's about my Orioles. Mm-hmm. Should we trade Jackson Holliday for some real assets or just keep him in the farm system?
I would. Of course, and Jackson Holliday, for those who know, the number 1 overall prospect in the MLB pipeline, has been now for about 3 years. Finally made that much-anticipated call-up earlier in the season. Did not go as expected. Set back down to AAA. Struggled a little bit, but of course now getting back up there. But the top prospect in baseball, and they've got tons in the top 50. They got Kierstad, who they brought up, Kobe Mayo, some of those other guys. I would trade prospects for all-stars. That's the kind of guy I am, so I would move Jackson Holliday for either a stud closer like Mason Miller from the A's, maybe another bat, but yeah, I would do it.
I'd definitely do it. Yeah. I have a fear of
hoarding talent.
No, just because baseball is such a tricky sport.
Yeah, and it's hit or miss, right?
Yeah,
so many.
I mean, look at Mark Apple. He just got to the majors. He's been the number 1. He was supposed to be the number 1 guy years ago, and he just got to the majors at 31. So I just look, man.
Prospects is a tough game.
Yeah, it's a tough game. If you're not out the gate and you're not doing well, yeah, you can send them down a couple times maybe, but each time you do, everybody else is buying lower. So I would try to get them.
I'm with you. I think the Orioles Phillies 2 teams that need to make moves. I think they both will, and hopefully, as Jason said, maybe we get that World Series rematch from 1983. That's, of course, what we're hoping for.
Shout out to Trey Turner.
There you go. Trey Turner on fire. Friday night, Trey Turner bobblehead at Citizens Bank Park. I'm looking to get to that game, grab myself a Trey Turner bobblehead on Friday night. Let's talk about USA basketball, guys. 2 wins here in the last 2 wins in the last 2 exhibitions in the showcases. Mm-hmm. South Sudan.
Yeah.
They win by 1 point, guys. Heading into the game, can you guys guess the line of that game for Vegas?
43.5.
43.5 point favorites over the South Sudan. It would have been one of the biggest upsets in exhibition, Olympic history, whatever you want to call it, any game in that regard. They win by 1 point, and then Germany today, a 3 o'clock start here for another showcase. They win that one 92-88. LeBron kind of leading them to victory down the stretch. So a 4-point win over Germany, who beat them last year, and then, of course, a 1-point win over the South Sudan, who they were 43.5 5-point favorites over. I just want to get your guys' initial reactions here quickly on Team USA, what you have seen from them, and maybe some of your expectations going forward as it stands right now. I know we haven't started Olympic play or any of the pool play yet, but some of these showcases and exhibitions, haven't been too clean from Team USA. What do you guys think?
I mean, outside of the Serbia blowout, we really haven't seen USA play consistently good basketball. I think the ball gets stuck at times, and the starting five doesn't really have a flow to it. If you looked at the games where they had to come back and win, it's been the second unit that's been bringing them back into the game. So the starting five has to be shaken up at some point. I don't know who it's going to be. Personally, I think Devin Booker should be coming off the bench. That's just me. But who knows? I'm not Steve Kerr, but I don't really trust Steve Kerr as a coach anyway. I think he's always had great players, so I think you're seeing that now. He doesn't really know how to mesh well with talent. People just go out and play for him. You have otherworldly talent, and you just win games. But you have to ask the coach of this USA team.
And this is our first time talking to you, Jason, since we had the debacle of Jaylen Brown over Derek White, a conversation that we spent some time on last week. Jaylen Brown not getting the nod for that extra spot after Team USA sending home Kawhi Leonard. Spot opened up. And usually you kind of fill there, you build or at least Grant Hill said you build a team, with different pieces, right? So they lose Kawhi Leonard. You figure they might want to add a similar piece, somebody that fits maybe that mold like Jaylen Brown might have for that position. But instead they option for Derek White, another Boston Celtic, one of your Boston Celtics, over Jaylen Brown. Just wanted to get your initial thoughts. We talked about it last week. Thoughts over White over Brown. I know Matthew and I disagree with that.
Derek White is the company guy. He's a company guy. So he's a fit for Team USA from the politics standpoint of it. But you look from looking from a player aspect, the only two players that you should be replacing Kawhi Leonard with will be players of a similar skill set.
Yes,
there's only two names, either Jaylen Brown or Paul George. The only two names you can really replace Kawhi Leonard with, because they're both 6'8", 6'9",
long
two-way players. Yeah. That's what you replace him with. You don't replace him with Derek White. Excuse me. Derek White wasn't even an all-star, but made the Team USA. I mean, that's saying a lot to me.
And again, this is coming from Jason, I'm a
Celtics fan, but you don't pick Derek White over Jaylen Brown in any scenario. You just don't do it.
And I agree with you, Matthew. We talked about that last week. We agreed with that as well. What are your thoughts on Team USA as it stands right now? What have you seen from them, and do you expect them? I think we all expect them to take that gold medal, but maybe looking a little bit tougher than we expected.
I think that the whole concept is tougher than people think.
Yeah.
You're talking about a situation where I know it's South Sudan, and we're like, oh, how are they doing it? But South Sudan, they got NBA level guys there. Wen and Gabriel.
That's right.
They got the kid Mulak, who's going to be probably a top 5 pick in this draft.
Shayak, the former blue coat for the 76ers.
Carlick Jones, former G League MVP.
Yeah. Carrick Jones is amazing at Louisville. And he's done well. And Wen and Gabriel was another big kid that had several years under his hat. Very, very good defender.
Kid played for the Lakers, played for the previous team.
So the days of, and they're coached by Royal Ivy, who's another guy.
Luol Deng.
Yep, and Luol Deng, exactly. So you got two North American trained guys there that with other North American trained players who happen to be South Sudanese, and I don't know why anybody's shocked. I think these games are a little bit closer. I think the problem with Team USA and the way it's constructed is it's constructed for who we think is the best talent, not for who's the best team. And when you're dealing with that, sometimes you got guys that are fighting for where they should be. I remember a few years ago where they picked the defender from the Spurs, and everybody hated it. They were like,
Kelton Johnson?
No.
I know he was on the team 2 years ago, too.
The guy that was winning the titles, the great defender, used to step on people's foot.
Oh, Bruce Bowen?
Bruce Bowen. They had him on an Olympic team, and people couldn't understand it. And the reason was
Bruce Bowen was lock-up.
He doesn't want to score. He's just a guy out there who's playing defense. And I think that's the thing. Each guy at South Sudanese, they don't have this identity problem or ego. They know who the shooter is. Mm-hmm. They know who the guy that can score is. Right now, Team USA, everybody thinks they can score. Everybody thinks they're that guy.
And just to piggyback on that South Sudan game, everyone in South Sudan can slide their feet. They have foot speed, play defense. Most of the guys grew up playing soccer, so moving laterally was an easy thing for them. And then when you're coached by Royal Ivy and Luol Deng, both hard-nosed players on the defensive end, you're going to get that effort. But shout out to South Sudan for not having any indoor basketball facilities, playing on all outdoor courts, and still doing this.
And I'm all for it, and I agree with you guys. And South Sudan played exceptionally well, and I think, the kind of what you guys have said was, maybe we shouldn't have been as surprised for them to be, or to make it at least competitive. But before the game, they were 43.5 point under. There's a reason they were 43.5 point under. So I want to make this about Team USA now a little bit. Is what holes do you, and Matthew just talked about it, but you think coaching is an aspect of it. Was there any switches that you guys might have made, maybe?
Yes.
Steve Kerr can't coach.
Number one.
That's number one.
And how do you, and again, you guys, North Carolina guys, do you think Coach K, if say Coach K was the coach again this year, does that make a difference?
They'd be way better.
Tyronn
Luke,
because Team USA better.
Tyronn Luke could
Tyronn Luke better. Yeah. He's on the staff.
So is the main issue for you guys is the coaching staff so far?
Yes, because here's the thing. Steve Kerr has made a living as getting this rep as being this great coach. And the truth of the matter is he always had great talent. He never had to instill defense to the Golden State Warriors because Mark Jackson did that for him.
And Mike Brown's job, too.
And Mike Brown.
Yeah,
so
Mike Brown's great.
You're dealing with a situation where you don't have to do that. And Steph Curry is going to do him. Klay Thompson's going to do him. And you have Draymond Green who's going to do him.
Definitely.
So he never had to figure things out. And that's where it gets a little difficult.
And again, those early Warrior teams had a lot of depth, too. That bench was so good with Bogut, the Brazilian Blur. Leandro Barbosa, they were, just a fantastic.
But also with Steve Kerr, when the Warriors had to figure it out, they didn't win any games.
That's right.
They ended up getting draft picks and drafting players like Jordan Poole and Kuminga.
You're talking about when Curry had the hand injury, he was out for the whole season. Yeah.
So, but also with Team USA, I would start Halliburton at the point. I would.
Over Curry?
Yeah, Curry with two guard.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay. So you see, this is still with your moving Booker to the bench.
Yeah, I'm moving Booker to the bench. I'm starting Halliburton.
Go.
Booker has to go. Booker couldn't catch a cold.
He's been looking hot at this. It's all clips, but he's been kind of the
hot
hot
on offense. But he can't. Who can he stop? Who can he slow down?
Who's Curry slowing? Again, I'm the biggest Curry fan there is. I love him to death.
There's effort with Curry.
But Curry played.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That's effort.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Devin Booker.
And you get that effort from Halliburton too. Obviously.
Devin Booker and those ugly Nikes he's wearing. God, he
got the headband back too. Headband Booker's back. So yeah, again, before we move on quickly, if there was one guy you could add to the roster and maybe take away a guy, would it be Derek White being taken away by both of you guys?
Yeah.
And who would you guys add?
Brown.
Jaylen Brown. There it is. Wow, across the board. Who would have thought? Yes, and Jaylen Brown having himself a pretty good weekend.
Yeah.
As well.
Take away two guys. I'm taking KD out the squad because he ain't playing.
Man, KD will play. He'll be ready to go.
I'm taking KD
no KD slander, man. He'll be back ready to go.
The same smoke that Kawhi is catching, KD should be catching right now. He should be sent home, replaced with somebody else.
There's got to be. Again, there must be something with the Kawhi situation, I think, that hasn't come out yet potentially.
Steve Ballmer, man, money.
I know Kawhi was not happy about that. I know he wanted to be a part of that team.
Money.
He was there for photo day.
It's Steve Ballmer and money. He said, "This is my best player. I need him here healthy for the season. Going to a brand new arena, the $3 million arena."
After losing Paul George.
Maybe.
Who knows? Could be. All right, so closing words for Team USA. Again, I should have the time where they take the floor next. I do not.
Well, the Olympics open ceremony kicks off Friday.
LeBron going to carry
LeBron's
the flag?
Yeah, flag bearer.
God, it's like to see that. Let's take it moving now. Let's move on before Matthew
can't help himself.
Slanders LeBron as we get in
help
to our top end NFL quarterback list. So it was last week that Jeremy Fowler had the poll from ESPN for the coaches, executive, and scouts for the NFL's top 10 quarterback list. Matthew and myself went over our top 10 quarterback list. Here is the one on your screen that was shown on Get Up on ESPN last week. Of course, by ESPN, voted on by the executives, coaches, and scouts. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Stafford, Herbert, Stroud, Rodgers, Goff, and Dak Prescott. We went through ours last week. We were without the presence of Jason McCall, who was back again tonight, and we wanted to make sure we got his list, and then we wanted to get his takes on Dennis's list and where Dennis has his quarterback on his list, as we'll talk about that here in a moment. Jason, we went over Matthew and my list before the show, so you got a little idea of what we had to say. Let's get your top 10 quarterback list, current NFL quarterbacks going into the 2024 season.
Well, it has quite a few African Americans on it. Starters, number one. Just throw it out there.
Shout out.
Number one is Patrick Mahomes, clear cut number one. There's no
unanimous
ifs,
here at
ands,
the desk.
buts. There's no debate about it. He's the best.
Tier by himself.
DETV is unanimous.
Yeah, no, he's in tier by himself.
We're gonna get all of
no
us to a
one will pick
consensus
anyone
here.
over Pat Mahomes. No. 3 rings, a couple MVPs. No.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes.
Agreed.
Already top 5. All time.
Already. I argue top 3. But that's
I ain't mad at you.
Number 2 would be Action Jackson. Say what you want. 2 MVPs. Action Jackson. Look at his record for his first 5 or 6 years of his career. Nobody really matches up except for Mahomes. You go to yards and things like that.
And we'll talk about Lamar here in a little while.
Number 3, I gotta give love to Dak Prescott, man. He puts up numbers. He wins games. I mean, not the playoffs, but
three.
he wins. He wins regular season games, man. I can't count how many 13-3 records they've had. So he plays in those regular season moments. Now playoffs might
Same
will a
thing
little
with
bit.
Lamar, right? So kind of a similar theme
But,
for you here so far. Right?
I mean, but I'm talking about your boy who chokes all the time. Josh Allen at number 4. That's your boy, right?
Yeah.
He chokes quite often as well.
Okay.
Josh Allen 4. I got young C.J. Stroud at 5.
I did too, and I'm not sure, Matthew, where you had Stroud on your list. I think it was up there as well.
Yeah, it was up there, yeah.
So yeah, we have 5. Him is 5.
C.J. Stroud
on
at
mine as
5. I got on that Burrow pack. I got Joe Burrow at 6. I'm gonna put Jordan Love at 7, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Jordan Love is
we
7.
were up there, and again,
Yeah, we were
I would love to put him earlier, and I will have him after this season. I can almost guarantee you he's going to be top 5 going forward. And again, one of my early picks for Super Bowl contention. In Green Bay.
I got you, your boy right here.
There you go. I like to see it,
This
man.
guy here, Jalen Hurts. All he does is win games. It may not always be the most conventional to the naked eye or to pass the eye test, but end of the year, he's averaging almost 4,000 yards, averaging about 35-ish touchdowns. I mean, he has a lot of weapons too, though, so he has to prove himself with that. But still, he's still a top 10 quarterback. And I got Captain Mid, Kirk Cousins.
How about this
Wow.
one here? Kirk Cousins, top 10. Again,
Captain
not a huge
Mid.
argument for me. We talked about this before the show.
Kirk Cousins,
I think
right?
he produces. He just produces.
Kirk Cousins
there.
puts up numbers every year.
Can't do it, man.
Kirk Cousins is this era's. I'm gonna say it too because I might get a little flack for this. Kirk Cousins is this era's Dan Marino. Numbers in the regular season don't nothing in the playoffs.
How far have we come here on DETV?
I thought you were going to say Vinny Testaverde, but Dan Marino?
I know, and I'm with you, Jay. I know, but I like Kirk Cousins too. Dennis, I mean, it seemed
my
like a year
God.
ago, right? We had the Captain Mid image that was drawn
What
up
Dan Marino
here
do his
on
whole
this
career?
show.
He went to one Super Bowl at 84. That what happened.
Kirk Cousins in the top 10. That's close for me, man. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
And then round out top 10. I'll give respect where respect is due. Top 10. I got Purdy at 10, bro.
There you go.
There you go. I appreciate that. Somebody
now-
knows their game.
and I again, Purdy, I moved him up there. I got him.
I
on
got
mine.
Purdy at
He's
10.
He's in my top 15. And now,
That's crazy. What are we doing?
And
here?
I've been a Purdy defender on the show since last year. I always
Let's
think
put
he
numbers up
demanded
against
respect.
your man.
The rushing numbers? You want to look at rushing numbers?
No, let's look at the numbers. Throwing.
Overall, how many
Your guy
touchdowns- how many
versus my
touchdowns
guy.
he have last year?
How many my guy?
Yeah.
31.
How many? Jamin had what? I want to say 26 or 27, plus the rushing touchdowns. I'd say.
We gonna do the
Oh, we can't add the rushing. The rushing don't count.
Yeah, but half of them come in the hand up his butt.
Yeah, well, not this year.
I mean, but half the touchdowns came in the hand up his butt. I mean, the rest of the
touchdown,
touchdowns,
though,
it's like a
right?
puppet.
touchdown's a touchdown. A touchdown is a touchdown. 3,850 yards, 23 touchdowns.
What's your man
for Jalen.
completion record?
23 touchdowns. You can't be at 23.
Mid. Go ahead.
You gotta have at least 30 touchdowns.
What's his completion
Oh, yeah,
for
but
last
the
year?
rushing overall, total touchdowns, guys.
No,
Total
23 touchdowns doesn't cut it.
Yeah, 23 don't cut it, man.
65 completion percentage, 23 touchdowns, and
69%.
15 rushing touchdowns last year to go along with the 20. So 38 total touchdowns for Jalen Hurts.
He should have 38. He should have 38 passing touchdowns, bro.
Hey, they
With that
they
roster,
had an identi-
Said
with
I
that-
gotta combine
that's the
these,
thing,
bro.
though.
This is not
Yeah,
working
when
for
you-
me.
When you have that offensive line.
Let me combine them.
No,
What?
no.
What do you mean no? The identity of the Philadelphia Eagles.
How
over
many
the course of
interceptions
time
your
is a
man
run-
throw?
Is a power run. 15.
How many 15.
Yeah, it was
15.
worse. He had a bad
How many
year than
attempts he
last
throw?
year.
How many attempts?
How many attempts? Oh, I don't know how many passing attempts he had.
That's
I'm gonna tell you
attempts.
something. Watch this. If you put Action Jackson
Oh, jeez.
with that roster, he's easily throwing for 40 and running for 20. Easy.
I ain't gonna lie. That's
Easy.
Listen,
Easy.
Lamar Jackson is the
what?
type of quarterback where he's not built on timing. You would say that he doesn't drop back and hit his guys. You know, it's not. He doesn't run the flow of the offense. correct? Sometimes he can. I'm just saying overall. When you can add those players, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Those guys it's timing, right? They're timing of the route. He's not it would have benefited him. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Oh, give him AJ Brown, and you're still going to have to run around and find
There's
him. He's
timing
not going
routes?
to drop back, huh?
In Philly?
What are you talking
They're
about?
using timing route?
You should, yeah. But I'm talking about conversation Lamar Jackson. I'm saying to where I don't think it would benefit
you
him
saying
as
that's
much.
why Lamar wouldn't do well because there's.
I didn't say he
timing
wouldn't do
routes.
well. I think it wouldn't affect him. It wouldn't like boost him a lot more than he
What
is
timing
now.
routes are y'all throwing? Now?
I don't see the time runs.
I'm not even trying to be funny. It's not like you guys are like saying Fran.
What do you mean,
when
AJ?
have
What's
timing
AJ
routes.
Brown's go-to route?
The fly route.
Quick slant. It is a quick slant across the
No,
middle of
it's
the
a fly
field.
route.
It is a three-step drop, boom, boom. That's his favorite route. I'm not
Okay.
saying it always gets hit that way, but that's the design of the play. And that's what A.J. Brown is the best at. Devontae Smith, phenomenal route runner. Same thing. He's not running around back there firing.
You mean to tell
like
me that you don't think Lamar Jackson had better numbers with that offensive squad? Are you out your mind?
I gotta be honest. This is very
I
interesting.
think he may be a little bit. I don't think it would be drastic
He'd
improvement.
be way
I
better
really
than
don't.
Jalen Hurts in that same offense.
See, I disagree.
With A.J. Brown and with Devontae Smith.
I think he would be better, but I don't think he's a 2-time MVP with that. I don't think if you look at the numbers, I don't think. I'm telling you, you look at the numbers. I don't think those numbers now that he's got would be way higher from a 2-time MVP with those guys.
He's made wonders with Mark Andrews by himself. You give him that particular roster.
We're talking about rushing, right? Too. Lamar Jackson, one of the best, if not the best, rushing quarterback. They have the number 1 rushing attack. So again, those guys wouldn't even want to play in that offense because it's not built for wide receivers.
This is crazy. I don't even know where we're going with this.
Oh my goodness!
You really believe this?
Yes, I truly believe this.
All right, I'll let you have it, man. I'll let you have it.
Yeah, I'll let you have it. Go ahead.
I don't even want.
I don't know what we're doing here, but okay.
Let you have it. Let you have it.
He'd be better. I just don't think it would be like. What do you think? You think he's like that? You think he's Patrick Mahomes if he goes to the
that offense? Damn, man.
Okay, see, I disagree with that 100%. Yeah, no way. And
with that offensive line.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you say that Philly for 2 years has had a better running back play than Ravens?
Running back play?
Yeah. There's nobody in the Ravens that's as talented as DeAndre Swift was. That's a fact. I don't know what we're doing if we're saying something else. You're not saying Gus Edwards is more talented. No,
Gus Edwards was
Swift,
phenomenal.
Between the tackles?
How many touchdowns over the last years does Edwards have compared to Swift?
In the 20, I give Gus Edwards all love, but in between,
and they had Dobbins, who was before the injury. Dobbins was very effective.
The only reason why, let's be honest, the only reason why Swift didn't take off in Detroit because he always got help.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we know that,
right? And he's electrifying.
And last year, I think the Eagles got away from him too with that running game.
Right.
And I blame Sirianni for that. But yeah, same thing. But
he's electrifying in the open field.
But I think Gus, but the trio of running backs they had in Baltimore with that rushing attack, and again, Lamar is the focus. That Lamar wouldn't be as effective, obviously, as it is.
That's a lot. I think he's been good. Lamar's been effective running the ball, even with people like Forsett and other guys. He's had running backs.
That's why I think this year too. And I just want to touch on this again. I love Derrick Henry this year, fantasy, and I think. The Derrick Henry, there's only been a few times, and we'll talk about it here, in NFL history where we've had a 2-time MVP and an Offensive Player of the Year on the same team. It's happened, I think it's the 5th time in NFL history. I expect huge things out of that run game.
The NFL needs to watch out, and I'll say why with this Ravens squad. Lamar had to put everything on his shoulders for all these years. Now you have an actual closer.
He agreed.
And Derrick Henry.
I think he's getting –
if you're up by 10 or more points – you can run the ball effectively with Derrick Henry.
I don't think that's getting talked about enough, if I'm being honest. I think the Derrick Henry aspect of it was a kind of an under-the-radar signing for some reason. I don't understand. I think it's going to be huge for Baltimore this year.
Think about the RPO. You're going to have to either decide to check Lamar in the open field.
And I dare him to pack the box, right?
Or Derrick Henry in the box between the tackles. Like that's. But then you have a slanting Mark Andrews running free across the middle of the field.
And Zay Flowers.
And then you got Bateman and Zay Flowers over the top.
I think the worry about the reason why Derrick Henry hasn't been spoken about, I think because age and the fact that over the last 6 years he's averaged about 290 carries a season. Yeah. I mean that's a lot. That's a lot.
But with him and Keaton Mitchell,
but he's massive though. Yeah. So we're not.
And let me ask you this again: what do you guys think? 1 or 2? How long do you think we can get? And do you think you're going to get Derrick Henry this year? You think he's going to be in his prime?
It's 2 years.
Like not prime, but still very good this
2
year.
years. It's 2 years.
Yeah, I think 2 years.
I think he's out of his prime.
So you think? I guess out of the prime, but like. I still think
he's going to be really good in the next 2 years.
Would you say he's a top 10 running back in the NFL?
Oh yeah,
he's still top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
But are we talking about like prime Derrick? No, we're not.
No, that's different.
We're not getting that. I'm sorry, we're not getting that.
But I think you're getting a strong top 10 running back.
Better than most running backs still.
I agree. Yes, exactly. So that's where we all are.
That's all we care about that.
And we're talking about that's where this all started from the quarterback discussion list. Yeah. So me and Matthew have a few questions for you regarding yours. So you had Dak at number 3.
Yeah.
Right, and then who'd you have? Who's your 8, 9, 10?
8, 9, 10. Hurts, Cousins, Purdy.
And so again, guys that were not in your test, you have Purdy over Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers played 33 seconds of football last year.
How do you feel about Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence?
Mid.
So no Anthony Richardson left for you either, huh?
He didn't play the whole season.
I mean, not even a quarter of the season.
No, I can't put him in the top 10 because the sample size wasn't large enough.
Oh yeah, not top 10. I'm just talking to general about some of those other.
He's not top 15 yet either. Respectfully, he's not top 15 or 20 yet.
Not top 15 yet.
Yeah, he's not top 15 or 20 yet. He hasn't played the whole season yet. And Jared Goff is the ultimate game manager. Who else?
That's the new Captain Mid.
Yeah, he's and
Almost at the Super Bowl. Almost at the Super Bowl.
and Kyler Murray ain't nothing but the black belt flutie. He can't see the field.
See, I think Kyler's in for a nice year with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well,
this year. If you look at
maybe.
some of those underlying
If he can find
stats,
them.
Kyler Murray puts
No,
up some numbers.
if he can find them.
See, I don't have a lot of stock in Jared Goff. That's just me. I just think Jared Goff is a guy that,
He's just a guy.
yeah, I think he's good. I think he's above
He's
average.
serviceable, yeah.
Yeah, but as far as what I want, but I feel happy at night if I had him as my franchise QB. No,
And you got Matthew Stafford 6. What in the world?
Yeah.
What,
Matthew.
What in the?
I like
Matthew Stafford when he plays is.
But
is
top 10?
Yeah, I got him in top
Yeah.
10.
How?
Somebody needs to educate Jason on Matthew Stafford.
No, I mean, yeah,
Stanford is really good.
He
Yeah.
had- but if you're talking about Matthew Stafford, is really good. So I need you to have the same love for Kirk Cousins you got for Matt Stafford. They got even numbers.
Matthew Stafford won.
No,
No, they don't.
they have
Matthew
even-
Stafford won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Their stats are even.
Kirk can't do what Stafford
What can he do?
does. Matt
What?
Stafford takes nothing and makes it something. There's no reason the Rams should have been in the playoffs last year.
Agreed with that roster too.
That roster was
And
terrible.
again, the defense did play well for as bad as they were projected to
But
be.
to me, they got the same numbers. If you look at their stats side by side, they're pretty much mirror images.
No, dude. There's no way Kirk Cousins is going to went to the Rams and got him to the playoffs, bro. He just doesn't have the talent that Matt Stafford does. In terms of arm
I've been
talent,
on Matt Stafford for sure. And again, talk about running the offense.
You think arm talent is the same
pre-snap
between the two?
I do. Wow. I do. I'm sorry, I do.
you think?
No.
So wait a minute. You think throwing? You believe that Kirk Cousins has the same touch and the same power that Stafford does?
Power, no.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about pure arm talent.
Oh no, I mean, listen, Matthew Stafford honestly is probably one of the top 10 arm talents of all time in the NFL. Even coming into the league, he was touted as that.
Shout out to Jay Cutler.
He's slinging ball somewhere.
Who was
Right
a
now.
nincompoop up here on the football
Yeah,
field.
he can throw a ball through a barn though.
But
Like
how do you
Rico.
go-
Yeah.
but how do you go to Vanderbilt and not smart? That doesn't
Throw
add
a
up.
ball. You can throw a football.
You throw a football.
What you say in dodgeball?
You throw a football through a school,
Look,
man.
Look in dodgeball. You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball.
Yes,
And again, going back, Stafford, was
Yeah.
phenomenal for Detroit. Brought Detroit to the playoffs.
Yeah,
That
50,000
roster
yards
was
and nothing.
horrible. And then the first year he's out of Detroit, year number 1, he wins the Super
true.
Bowl.
Anybody could have won.
year.
Anybody could have won with that squad.
Oh no, we're not
Well,
doing.
Jared Goff couldn't.
Yeah,
We know that.
Exactly. There you go, Jared.
So I'm
Goff.
just saying that's why I think golf is mid. I'm good.
Let's move it on to just a training camp news as
Yeah.
we close out the
Yes,
show
sir.
with the training camp guys. We are officially here. Football is back. Training camp underway today. Every other team will be in action tomorrow. Everybody is now reporting. It is officially football season. The Ravens, they opened up camp on Sunday, or as we talked about, Jason, talking about Lamar Jackson. Did you catch the John Harbaugh rant? Defending Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and
not sure if that was warranted, but of course he went on that rant about Lamar. We talked about him pairing up with Derrick Henry. Just your thoughts on the Harbaugh press conference there and where that came from. I kind of was a little confused.
Harbaugh is defending Lamar because Lamar doesn't get the proper respect still, even with two
But
MVPs.
why? Like, why bring that up like now? I mean, it's because he was sent home sick from training camp. Like,
No,
is that-
because it's Harbaugh. Harbaugh is a coach that gives multiple material early in the year. He's known for saying something crazy like this. Whether it's
I
training
do
camp,
remember this last year with the discussion.
so it's always something. But I didn't like Stephen A's take on ESPN this morning about Lamar Jackson and the situation.
I didn't catch it, but he blamed Harbaugh for
Yeah.
it, right? I believe.
Yeah,
So.
and-
I think I saw a headline.
It was kind of. But Stephen A. Smith's takes have been weird anyway the last 3 years, so we're gonna leave it alone.
Hey, we're
But,
sitting at the same desk Stephen A. Smith sat when he was here. At
and I
DETV
still got one
a
to
while ago.
ask him a few questions, but no, I don't mind the rant. I think the rant takes pressure off Lamar going into
I
training
think
camp.
that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, but I like the addition of Eddie Jackson
Yeah,
to the
I like
Ravens.
that over the
I
weekend,
like
right?
that.
Interested.
I like the fact that now you have a safety who can roam around and who can play deep.
Hey, talk about real good players.
And you can let Kyle Hamilton just run free, move him around anywhere on the defensive backfield. And picking up Eddie Jackson is great because of losing Geno Stone. So you know,
Matt, Xavier Worthy, drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Clips already going viral about him
Yep.
catching deep touchdowns off the hands of Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs going for that three-peat this year. They started training camp before some of these other teams earlier this week. What do you think? Are you growing favorable to the fact maybe the Chiefs could win a third straight Super Bowl? They are the favorite in Vegas. How do you feel about the Chiefs? They add Worthy, a few other pieces as well. Chris Jones is back on a nice deal, their best defensive player. Yep. How do you feel about Kansas City? Are they your favorite to win yet another Super Bowl?
I mean, it's like I told you guys last year, I don't bet against Pat Mahomes. If Mahomes has a chance, they got a chance. It's just that simple.
It's the Tom Brady effect.
Yeah.
Now it's the Mahomes effect. You can't bet on them until they actually lose.
Yeah.
And we talked about Worthy in our pre-draft show. I think he's the perfect fit for that offense. It's showing here early.
Shout out to his mom.
Yeah, as long as he has some of those hands, he has good hands, he'll be good to go. Looking as if, Andy Reid said they might open things back up here in that offense. But again, I just do want to hesitate because we kind of do this the last couple of years, right? I know I'm higher on Worthy than maybe some of those other guys they've drafted Kansas City the last few years. I know they drafted Sky Moore. That was like the big thing. Like, Sky Moore's coming in. He's going to be and I thought he'd be a bigger part of that offense, but that didn't work out. Rasheed Rice got a little bit of a late start, but better. Who knows what he's going to be like next year with some of the off-the-field stuff. Harbin early in his career. So we've done this before, right? They've drafted some guys that have been great in college. It hasn't worked out early. I think this is different. I think Worthy's better, but we'll see. We've done it before, so we'll see if he can have an impact immediately here with Kansas City. Jordan Love coming out on Saturday. He will not practice. He is in deep negotiations for that new contract that is going to make him the NFL's highest paid quarterback, the highest paid player of all time. That'll be coming up here most likely this week. He won't practice without it, guys.
Excuse me. He's going to be what?
He's going to make, it looks like, average per year up over $50 million. He's going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league when it's all said and done.
He can have monopoly money.
You got to do it, though, right? If you're I would do it. You got to sign him to that deal. He did that 1-year bridge deal last year so they could avoid contract negotiations. He had the year he had.
That's not good business.
So what would you do?
I'd tag him. That's not good business.
No, you can't, man. Then you're just asking for a problem. You got your franchise quarterback here at 25, 26 years old. Lock him up. He's phenomenal.
You can't build around a team with that kind of money, though.
Well, that's the way we're training. In 5 years, it's going to be maybe a mediocre quarterback contract. That's the way you got to do it. You want to get out in front of it. You want to get out in front of it, so you never know how that's going to go.
Trevor Lawrence got that kind of money. He's mediocre.
Who it is?
Trevor Lawrence got that kind of money. He's mediocre.
He got that big extension.
He got $275 million. Right now, he's the highest paid
quarterback. Another quarterback who we'll talk to about in a second is also up on the final year of his rookie deal. He's looking to be in that same range. I'll ask you about that opinion. So, I'm all in for Jordan Love. I would, just sign the deal, mark, whatever, and then get him out to training camp. You guys not in the same boat there? What do you think?
I just think once unless you have Pat Mahomes, once you tie a big contract like that to a QB.
I agree.
You close the window. And to win.
Overall, philosophy-wise, I'm the same way. I never understood why guys didn't do the Tom Brady, and again, Patrick Mahomes did a little bit of this year. I don't understand why they don't take pay cuts. It doesn't make any sense. Baker Mayfield took one to give Mike Evans his money. I think we're going to see a lot more quarterbacks start to do it. We just saw Jalen Brunson with a big-time pay cut for the New York Knicks. I know that's basketball.
I want to say something about that. Yeah. That was dumb.
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson was dumb. Might be the dumbest thing I've seen in a minute.
Quickly, go on. Why is that?
Because you're not cutting breaks for the organization, bro.
It's his boys.
You got a limited
time. Who let you go in a heartbeat? That's not good business. No, I can see taking a pay cut, but not the whole $113 million.
Right, he took 100.
He didn't. Right,
it wasn't 10. It wasn't 20. He took $113 million.
But here's the deal: he can restructure next year, I believe.
For who? Dante DiVincenzo?
Bridges is going to get the deal now. It's all for Mikhail and some of those other guys.
These guys are only above average.
You're right. It's weird. It's an interesting topic because nobody in the NBA, you won't find a star player as close to the organization and coaching staff as Jalen Brunson is.
And that's why they're going to fail.
And Leon Rose, like that, they are almost a family.
Yeah, LeBron and Clutch.
All right, there you go. That's a little bit different topic.
I mean, here's the thing. Honestly, it'd be different if they're close to winning. I don't think Mikal Bridges signing with them wins.
And that's a whole other topic, right? Because there has never been that much draft assets given up for a player that's never made an All-Star game, right? And I view Bridges as
what?
I think he's a potential All-Star. I think he can make an All-Star team next year or the year after. You guys don't feel him that way?
Oh, NBA 2K, sure.
Oh, okay.
No, I think he got potential.
I think he got potential, right? So that's my thing. But I see your point. There's never been a deal like that for a player that's never made an All-Star game. So I get your.
But I mean, you got Josh Hart. You got Don. I think they just fallen in love with too much of this Villanova thing, man.
I'm gonna say this,
bro.
Go Cats.
I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead.
The Knicks only got that far because they beat broken down Embiid and the Sixers. A
Yeah, that was
Sixers
hard to watch. Yeah.
A healthy Sixers squad. We are not talking about the Knicks at all.
Yeah, but if you give them Bridges, I think it's a blowout.
With a healthy Sixers squad, we are not talking about the Knicks. And next year, you will see a healthy Sixers squad who
I
will
agree.
make the Eastern Conference
With
Finals.
Paul
Agreed.
George.
Agreed.
And
With
Paul
Paul
George
George,
is
not
going to
the
be different than
LeBron BS
Tobias
you're talking
Harris.
about.
Well, we can only hope.
No.
And again, I'm not a big Tobias hater. I think he got a little too much hate
Trash.
for the Sixers but this year
Walking Ponzi scheme.
He played really poorly this year, so it is what it is at this
That
point.
boy was poop.
Now he's back in Detroit. So again, you guys agree Jordan Love won't practice. The deal could be done this week. He's going to be the
He's not
highest paid
gonna practice till he
quarterback.
get those- he's not practicing
He was
money.
the best quarterback in terms of statistics through the final 8 weeks of the season. It went Love, Stafford, Dak, and Lamar as your top 4 finishing in total QBR. So there's Stafford again, Jason, on that list. And, of course, Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott also on that list.
Thank you.
They're the top 4. So, again, Dak making that
You know who wasn't on that list? Hurts.
Or Purdy.
Oh,
No, Purdy. Purdy higher on that list than Hurts.
I can't wait for football. So it's going to be a fun
yeah,
fun
I can't
year.
wait either.
Can't wait
coming up.
either.
Hall of
we're
Fame
all
game in
So I can
weeks.
see Nick Sirianni get fired. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Shout out to Kellen Moore, coach in waiting. Shout out to Kellen Moore.
Devontae
Devontae
Adams,
Adams.
guys, future in Las Vegas. Obviously, he says he doesn't want to leave quickly here. I don't know if you guys have seen Wide Receiver, the documentary on Netflix, kind of going through his season last year. A lot of stress for Devontae Adams on that Raiders team last year, pretty much telling them to bench Jimmy Garoppolo. He can't play.
I don't blame him.
Saying, this is ridiculous.
It's
He
your
was-
boy. It's Jimmy G.
And,
That's my boy.
I'm a big Devontae guy. He said he wouldn't be opposed to playing with Tom Brady if he were to come back to the Raiders and play. Of course, he's an owner, going to be a minority owner, so that doesn't look likely. And then, of course, he said he'd be open potentially to reunion with Aaron Rodgers. He said obviously his focus is on the Raiders, but if that were to happen, he would be okay with it. Guys, what are your expectations for Devontae Adams this year? Minshew, the starting quarterback, I believe, I was going to say Oakland, now Las Vegas. Will he be a Raider by the end of the season? Because I think if things start to go sour early on, why on earth would you hold on to him, right? Wouldn't you get something back for him from a player that
Raiders,
is not helping you win right now,
It's the
right?
Raiders.
What do you guys
Listen,
think?
Mark Davis is more concerned about the Aces than the Raiders.
Hey,
right
they're
now.
only team that's winning for him over there.
Devontae Adams need to cut his braids, man. You need that Meek.
He
You
only
need
got-
that
only has
Meek Mill.
different
You
perspective
gotta
on
get that
it.
Meek Mill recenter
Revamp?
himself, revamp. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
man.
But is it he that needs the revamping, or is
However,
it the
though,
quarterback situation?
when players cut their hair off, it means they passed their prime already. It's going to be slower. Like I ain't even seen the player that cut their hair off yet and
It's
do
true.
it afterwards. I
This
haven't.
is true.
That's true.
I ain't seen it. But honestly, okay. Hands up.
Fire alarm.
But no, honestly, with Devontae Adams is this: he's not leaving. He's not leaving Vegas. You know why? Because it's Vegas. It's not the team. It's the city. It's the lifestyle. He's not leaving Vegas.
And he's over there, obviously,
He's
right?
he's
Fresno
enjoying.
State.
He's enjoying that lifestyle out there. He's a
And
rock
he,
star. out
and he
there.
did look like that, the off the field life on the wide receiver
Yeah,
document. Looks like he's having a good
He's
time.
enjoying. It's a lifestyle out there. It's Vegas.
Yeah,
What do you think, man? He's going to end the season a Raider?
probably.
Unfortunately, because I like rooting for the Raiders. I like the Raiders as a team, but
What?
I like a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think they should keep. I don't think he'll.
I haven't liked him since Tom Marinovich. man.
So who?
Tom Marinovich. Robo quarterback.
New Mexico, is that what you're saying?
What did you just say, Marinovich?
Yeah, Marinovich. Shout out to Marinovich.
I think he'll be a
Not Rich
Raider.
Gannon?
Rich Gannon,
Rich
let's
Gannon.
go. I had a chance.
Blue
I
Hens.
interviewed him this year at the University of Delaware. That's right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Phenomenal guy, by the way. Very nice
Better
guy.
QB than Jalen.
I haven't
Love
liked him
Rich
since
Gannon.
Tuiasosopo.
I'm gonna
his
say
name.
Devontae Adams should be out of there, but he will be a Raider. I think at the end of the season, unfortunately for all parties.
You know who they should bring back for Devontae? They should bring back Jamarcus Russell, man. Get that man a chance. Give that man a chance.
Give him some tape. He won't
blank
watch
tape.
it.
Yeah,
Let's
it's a good
go
tape,
down to
man.
the Vikings quarterback situation coming out today. Kevin O'Connell does not want to rush his new draft
bet he
pick,
doesn't.
J.J. McCarthy.
'Cause he didn't want him.
McCarthy coming out of college, guys, we talked about ad nauseum here on the show before the pre-draft and during the draft process.
Way too high.
1,000 fewer throws than any quarterback coming out of that class last year. They were a run-heavy team when they won that national championship. Vikings 29th in rushing last year, so that's not a pro that he's going to be able to have this year in Minnesota. How long until we see him? Is he going to be a starter? And what can you expect from J.J. McCarthy in year
He
number
ain't
one?
starting this year at
Yeah,
all.
I don't think you're gonna see him this whole year.
You don't think so? You think
Yeah, I don't think
Darnold's
so
going to
either.
be the guy?
I think
And
Darnold will be the guy.
Yeah, the whole year.
I say we see him midway through year number one.
Maybe mop up duty and like a blowout. But I don't.
And but now, if you're the Vikings fans, right? How upset are you at that? Like, wouldn't you want to see McCarthy early? Like,
No.
what are
No.
you getting out
No.
of having Darnold out there?
What are you gonna have him McCarthy from day one.
You drafted him 10th overall. You got to.
Yeah, but he gets hurt, then what?
If he gets hurt, that's what we're talking. We can't play because we're afraid he's going to get hurt. I don't think that's
so. I got two different opinions on quarterbacks. So like when you're a Lamar or when you're Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes, and I'm just naming good guys.
Skill sets.
I'm naming just guys who like really played the position. Even Jimmy Clausen, like guys that really played at the college level, right? Jimmy Clausen. Anybody you want to name that basically was a first rounder, they for the most part have played the position in college for an extensive period of time. Throw them in, see what you got. If they're good, then they're good. Then there's guys like Steve McNair. There's guys like
Trey Lance,
who I think you got to sit on. You got to see he needs to soak up the playbook.
Steve McNair didn't need to sit. I'm sorry. I still didn't like that when he first got drafted.
No,
he shouldn't have sat at all.
But I understood it though.
I understood it at that time, but he shouldn't have sat at all.
I don't think he sits today.
Mahomes sat. I mean, a lot of the Jordan Love, like all these guys we see now.
And Mahomes sat. He's 10th pick too. So how you going to sit up?
Sat for Alex Smith.
Yeah. And again, Alex Smith was coming off a phenomenal season there the year before. That's the only difference there is that you're getting a new guy in Darnold who historically hasn't been great. I think he's an effective backup quarterback.
I think he's a good pro though.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's why
he's
I think
professional.
And that's why I think it was good that they got him there.
How to be a quarterback.
I have no issue with Sam Darnold. I really don't.
No,
I agree. Like I'd rather have Sam Darnold than Trey Lance. Or one of those
he's
guys.
serviceable.
He's better than Mark Sanchez. So,
so you guys are saying both of you were on the let him sit.
You got to
learn the speed of the NFL game.
Yeah, I hope to see him by the mid season. But again, I wouldn't be shocked because, like you guys said, make him sit the whole season.
Bo Nix and them, throw him out there, man.
Bo Nix is gonna get thrown out there for sure.
I think he trash.
They say that quarterback battle is intense. The quotes are coming from that camp: intense between Zach Wilson, Jared Stidham, and Bo Nix.
I think Bo Nix is gonna start.
I think so too. I think for sure.
I think Zach Wilson gonna do well.
I would love to see Zach Wilson.
But he needs competition now. He needs it.
I think
and he's from BYU, so over that way, maybe that changes. The spotlight wasn't good for him in New York, so maybe he does play better under a lower radar.
Look, man, he got drafted for the Mahomes effect.
Yeah,
thrown off platform. Doesn't work.
Texans, they added Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs. Joe Mixon saying in his press conference today before training camp that this might be the most talent that he's played with or that they have maybe in the league, he's saying now. So a lot of big things coming out. They got Diggs, Mixon, Nico Collins, that offense, Jeremy Tunsil on the offensive line, C.J. Stroud.
Played with Chase and Burrow.
That's what I'm saying. Key capping.
They were 22nd in rushing last year, the Houston Texans. Now they get Joe Mixon. Your expectations for Houston this year? In year
3.8 yards a carry.
So you're saying that you're not on a high year for me.
I don't believe in Mixon.
How do you think the team's going to do, though? Do you think he'd be like a good
I think the team will do well. I mean, the pressure's on for them. They got a rookie contract with the QB. They got to make it work.
Last year they had none, and now this year, like Matthew said, there's going to be some.
They're going to be a really good – they're going to be a playoff team again this year.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But what do you think? Can they make a deep run?
They can. I
think they can, too.
They can.
Again,
and because of their defense.
It's getting better, too, as well.
They got Stingley out there playing out his mind. They got other guys.
Stingley's been good. And didn't they sign Hunter?
Yeah.
That's a huge signing up front. Yeah, that is a huge signing for them up front. I like Houston. Obviously, once again this year they add Diggs and Mixon.
This next team here is a team I don't trust.
But again, D'Amico Ryan should still be feeling some type of way after losing the Coach of the Year
to
Kevin Stefanski, who's won it for the second time. Then Houston did have the luxury of beating them up in their first round of the playoffs. So, D'Amico Ryan, one of the biggest travesties in all of coaching award history. I will say that until the day I die. Let's move on.
That's racist.
To the Joe Burrow cleared for contact. Unbelievable, man! I'll tell you. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it when that happened.
You're horrible.
Joe Burrow cleared for contact today, guys.
Who cares?
Been since November 27th.
Who cares?
Since we had the chance to see Joe Burrow suited up right wrist surgery.
Who cares?
Now I will say this about Burrow. Look, clock's ticking, bro. You better
win and win now.
Yeah, you gotta show something, bro. You gotta show something. If we getting on Dak, I don't know how anybody can't get on Joe Burrow.
Joe made a Super Bowl a couple years ago, though. At least got there.
But he expected to win that Super Bowl.
Yeah. That was a good Super Bowl, too, with the Rams and the Bengals. Then the year after he gets hurt.
A minute.
I think it's a big year, though, because I think if he gets hurt this year, then and you're right, I think we have issues. But if he can play clean, then we don't have that
we got issues either way because they ain't not paying Jamar right now.
But guess who else?
That's ridiculous.
But guess who else only went to one Super Bowl? We just talked about earlier this year.
Dan Marino.
So.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does happen. Again, they are built for it, though. T. Higgins is going to play. They obviously
shocked by
signed
that.
those guys.
I'm
Sounds
shocked
like they're
T.
ready to
Higgins.
go.
Yeah.
He wants out, but they're saying, no, we're not going to get rid of you until at least after this year. We want to make a run at the Super Bowl. We'll see if that goes well for them. They're up there in the odds. Of course, with Joe Burrow healthy, they're going to be one of the teams that are going to be in the mix.
And they're going
for
to regress. Even with them healthy.
So
they're
you
gonna
had,
regress.
again, Jason, you were the big one that had them regressing last year. I know we gave you tons of slack on the show in the preview in the AFC North last year.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Bengals finishing last in the division. Of course, we didn't know Joe Burrow was going to get hurt and all that nonsense, but they did. They finished last in the division, and we're still on the cusp of making the playoffs. So you talked about it a few weeks ago. AFC North, a possibility of getting all 4 teams in this year if Burrow and them are able to stay healthy. Now to another quarterback in the final season of his rookie deal, Tua Tagovailoa from Miami and the Dolphins, set to make $23.2 million this year. But we talked about Jordan Love. If Jordan Love gets his deal done first, odds are if Miami does stick with Tua, it's going to be close to that same
Tua get
range.
like 50 million. I said about
So
I
he's
heard
going
50
to. What do you guys think? Should Tua get that huge contract that he's expecting to get?
No.
And again, I've seen
It's
a
like
lot
Joe
of
Flacco.
I've seen a lot of people say yes, like reporters, insiders,
Joe Flacco was better.
cat people, guy. That a lot of people think they should sign Tua. I'm with you guys. I don't think he
Nah,
deserves that
man.
big of a contract. Just for me, watching
Tua's
them,
arm isn't that strong.
and especially in the cold, he can't play in the cold. We saw that in the
I don't like
playoffs
him.
last year. I'd sign him to a deal maybe, but nothing close.
If you
to
put
what
Baker
he's getting.
Mayfield in
I
that
agree.
offense,
Yeah,
they're
I'm
better.
with you.
They're
I
better.
agree with that.
That's
They're better.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
I agree
that's
with that.
that's a
And
good
Matthew's
take.
saying that about Baker. There you go. So
Yeah,
you know
that's-
that means
that's
something.
saying a lot coming from you, man.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there. I think I wouldn't. It's a tough situation, right? Because you're Miami. You got Tyreek Hill. You got Waddle. You're ready to win right now, right?
Right.
But you need that
Got Mostert,
quarterback.
you
And
got-
You got the
he's been good.
Arcane.
Led the NFL in
Arcane?
Achan, yeah.
Achane,
Led the
Achane.
NFL in completion percentage last year.
Yeah.
But again, he has all those weapons.
got
Was
it.
that
Well,
the
But he's
reason?
throwing 12 yards on the field. That's it. I can complete the ball too.
Dog.
He throwing
Hey,
slants.
I'm with you. I wouldn't sign him to that. Again, if it kind of puts you. Teams don't like to go into a season without knowing what to do at quarterback, right? That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So people get scared. They're like, oh, we don't know where if we lose Tua, what are we going to do? That's kind of
Man,
what teams
play
talk
him and
about.
prove it.
Yeah.
I
Keep
agree,
going.
and I'm with you. I think I would let him play out this deal, see how it goes, and then see what happens. I don't think he's the kind to hold out and say I wouldn't play, but maybe
not.
he is. We'll see what happens. Jamar Chase contract apparently not coming anytime
Dumb.
soon. The Bengals president saying.
Dumb.
So not only this guy, they don't sign T. Higgins, right? He demands a trade, and now they won't pay Jamar Chase at least yet. They said they're confident they're going to get a deal done.
They're both leaving.
What's the holdup?
They're both leaving Cincinnati.
Oh, no way. I can't imagine he would leave
I-
Burrow,
why not?
I can see a scenario maybe Burrow gets
If you're
hurt
not
this
gonna-
year. Maybe.
If
but
you're
I
not
just
going to
don't-
take care of the lower tier guy, and then you tell the top tier guy he can't get a contract, that's disrespect. They both leaving.
But he did come out and say, hey, we'll get it done. We just don't know
They're
the
both
timeline,
leaving.
etc.
There's no way you can pay Burrow and not pay those two guys. They're both leaving.
The biggest fear with the Cincinnati Bengals is they could have an Andrew Luck situation with Burrow. I mean, that offensive line is putrid. And
They draft, I think, Amarius Mims this year. So they address, they always try to address
They
it, but we'll
always
see how it
try.
holds up. Yeah.
But man, and like when Luck finally retired, the offensive line was good. But the problem is,
He's not there
it's too
anymore.
late.
How
Yeah,
ironic that is. Huh?
yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you can't pay T. Higgins and you don't want to pay Jamar right away, that's dumb to me. That doesn't give me a vote of confidence if I'm a wide receiver playing on that team.
And again, I don't know what the
That's
holdup
right.
would be. They said, again, there's been no issue as to saying they won't pay him. They say they'll pay him. They're going to get him to him. But
Listen.
why not now?
But here's the problem with them. Cincinnati has never paid their top wide receivers good money. Even when the days of
Chad, they
Pickens and they don't pay their wide receivers good money. They always try to get them
They've
team,
had some dynamic
team-friendly.
wide receiving.
TJ
Houshmandzadeh, Chad Johns, Chris Henry. Like, those guys were RIP.
Chris Collinsworth played on BS contracts in
That's
Cincinnati.
right. Yeah, Florida Gators.
Like, they have never paid their top wide receivers good money. They played okay for them.
Well, let's see if they can get it done.
It's not going to happen.
Should get done. It should hopefully maybe get done soon. Quickly, some other NFL storylines. How do you guys feel? Just want to get your impressions. Aaron Rodgers skipping
Next.
mandatory mini camp. Been a
Okay.
lot of
Next.
And then Robert Saleh coming out and making a kind of a Aaron Rodgers saying, "Hey, I told Robert. Robert knew I wasn't gonna go." But then Robert Saleh speaking to the press kind of didn't come off that way, right? Aaron Rodgers was not happy. He had a private meeting with Saleh, trying to say, "Hey, why'd you call me out like that
I'm grown,
to the public?
bro.
I told you, where I was going to be."
He's a grown man.
Some already disconnect here in New York. I mean, already to
Shocker.
start the season. They are odds on, a lot of favorites or close to the favorites to win the division, close to make the Super Bowl. How do you guys feel about the Jets this year?
Aaron Rodgers is LeBron James in a football uniform. What are we talking about? Keep going. Next.
I like that drama.
There's always drama somewhere.
So,
Always.
any of you guys have them winning the AFC East?
No,
The hell.
So I've got the Bills, as you probably would have predicted.
They got the
The
talent.
Bills was still.
Yeah. So who do you guys
With that
have winning the
roster?
AFC? You got the Miami? You guys got
Yeah,
the
I got
Dolphins
Miami.
then, right?
Miami in the AFC East. Yeah, Miami. Miami.
Miami?
I don't know. I might go Buffalo.
See.
I don't want to go Buffalo.
I can tell.
I got Miami.
Other
Yeah.
storylines, Matthew, you got to talk about your guy, Brandon
Yeah.
Ayuk. It's been, rumored about for weeks and weeks. It officially has come out. He has requested a trade.
Yep.
San Fran said, we have no intention of moving him at this time. Where
don't
should
blame
he
him.
go, and should they move him?
He's gonna sit out this season if he don't get traded.
Who would he do that?
I think he would. I think it's that brazen.
I don't think he's that stupid.
But
he can try.
He should go ahead and they need to go ahead and trade him to Washington. Just get some capital from him. Just go ahead and trade him to Washington.
Seems like the spot where he wants to go.
Yeah, he played
Obviously,
Jay
with
Daniels in
Snyder,
college.
it wouldn't
Yeah.
be a possibility. But now you got new ownership. Maybe they look into that. Magic Johnson and company. Matthew, how do you feel
Josh
about
Harris?
Brandon Ayuk?
I mean, I'm worried. Of course, I think he's our best wide out in terms of route running, and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, it definitely puts more pressure on Purdy.
Yeah, that's true.
Unlike some people, I'm actually honest about my QB's limitations. I don't know. We're gonna see. Look, Purdy, he got to show. He got to show what he is, man. I mean, look, I think he's been a system QB. I love the story, 7th round pick. But look, at this point, look, man, if you are you a guy or are you just a system guy? Now, I will say this. I said it last year. I think Purdy's better than advertised. I think he's better than people give him credit for. But I know from watching them religiously that he uses he relies on Ayuk a lot. So it's definitely going to make some changes. And I don't think no matter what you say, your guy can fill in that void if Ayuk leaves.
And Ricky Pierce already got hurt, huh?
Non-football injury. I don't think
Already.
it's an injury. I think there was just something. I don't know what's going on. I don't think it's an injury, though, why he's
That's why we should never drafted him.
out right now. Clip that, Dennis, because we're going to play that back when he has
Florida
an absolute-
wideouts are kind of cheeks in the league. Can we be honest?
There are a bunch of them.
There's a lot of cheeks wideouts in
The
Florida.
Ravens got some too, so ain't nobody team exempt from having no cheeks wide receivers, bro.
We'll have this conversation again. We'll have it again down the line.
Who's the best Florida wideout?
Florida wide out.
Of all time, it's Chris Collinsworth, hands down.
Wow, I would be like, yeah, I'm trying to. In
Second-
the NFL, I will. And I mean, this is not my pick or anything, but I do think somebody that was very effective and very good was Percy Harvin. I think Percy Harvin,
And he couldn't stay healthy.
I know, and that was the issue with him. But without the migraines and everything, when he played, he was electric.
Honestly, it will always be Chris Collinsworth until somebody else actually plays and has a Hall of Fame career wide receiver.
I mean,
It's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. You guys got a lot of guys.
But again, Ricky Pierce saw a transfer too, as well, from Arizona
I
State.
want to hear that shit.
So you never know. Just saying.
Time
I
out.
think is that our call? I guess we're done. I guess that's how we wrap it up. Let's wrap it up, guys. WNBA All-Star Team USA game also was over the weekend. Jason, here's
Yes.
Dennis's question of the week. Here we go, and that's what that noise means. What NFL Hall of Famer should not be in the Hall of Fame? Ouch.
Kurt Warner.
Ooh. Oh. I mean. Oh.
I love Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, get him out of here.
Ooh. That's a great question, Dennis.
That's a question you got to give us a week heads. That's a tough one, though.
No, it's not. Wow. I gotta think on that one.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's
Kurt Warner, man.
Megatron.
Whoa!
Megatron.
Oh, man.
Terrell Davis.
So you think Andre Johnson has a better
Megatron
resume
Terrell
than
Davis.
Andre Johnson? I mean, than
All right,
Megatron?
let me say this. There's one other guy I got.
Yeah.
Again, I know what he did for the game.
Just say it.
But Joe Namath is kind of.
Actually,
I mean, bro.
I agree, bro.
I mean,
is
bro.
that bad to say? I mean, it is.
It's kind of like you wasn't even like that with your peers at QB.
Peers, no.
It's not even. You know what I'm saying? It's not even like
So
we're
I'm trying
comparing
to think of a
today.
comparison to who is somebody that won that one Super Bowl and ended up getting in the Hall of Fame.
Like he made Terry Bradshaw look like he was that guy.
I'm trying to think of
And
who.
Terry Bradshaw won 4 of them things.
Well, I was gonna say, is there a guy
Jim
like him that
Plunkett?
else is in there? That's in there with him. Trying to.
There's a lot of guys that threw better than him. That at the same time. That's what I'm saying. It's like you look at his numbers, you're like, bro, you was kind of. I know the swag, and I know the bragging about,
And the
I know
the calling it.
legitimacy
I
of
think it was the
AFL,
calling
like-
it stuff.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this. If Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame
Yeah,
with 2 rings, right? But
Yeah.
his window was so short.
yeah.
Why ain't Sterling Sharp in the Hall of Fame?
Why isn't Sterling Sharp?
Yeah.
Well, because he's wide out. I know. That's why I don't agree with it. I think he should be in there, but I know that's why they're penalizing him. Because they got Gale Sayers. Gale Sayers got same thing. Got injured after a couple of years.
Irvin Fry should be in the Hall of Fame. We're gonna go off the numbers.
Ooh.
We're talking about him pre-show. Way to break that.
Irvin
out.
Fryer.
Hmm.
Herman Moore. I can keep going.
Herman Moore, I like.
I can keep going.
I don't know about Irvin. Herman, I'm with you.
Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with that.
Period.
But here's the thing, though. I'll say this about the NFL wideouts and how they pick them. I think they make certain guys wait. Like, I thought Art Monk waited way too long. It was crazy to me.
Way too long.
Like, bro,
Yeah, they do that.
Way too long.
the other kid from Dallas that got taken that after finally
Drew Pearson?
Yeah, he's on an all 70s team. It's like
The original 88 Club member.
right.
You know, like,
it's
come on,
like,
man.
what are we
OG
doing here?
Club,
I don't know.
man.
For some reason, the wideouts they just do not want you to get in, man. It's kind of crazy.
Well, guys, let's wrap it up. Dennis, another phenomenal question. We'll
Yep.
get his question again for next week as well, next Monday. Let's wrap it up. A late start for us, guys, but another fantastic show. Getting some
All-Star
extra
game.
shooting
Yeah.
upstairs going on. We got some extra shows going on the
do.
network here.
Got prep over
today.
here. DETV.
Yeah, everything's
doing
going
things out
on
here
tonight. Want to get your take here if we wrap, Jason. WNBA All-Star Game going up against Team USA over the weekend. WNBA
Yeah.
coming out on top.
WNBA, Team USA basketball. It's a travesty that Arike Ogunbowale is now on the team again. Last time he had this concept in 2021, Team USA versus WNBA, she's the MVP. This year, she's the MVP again. All-star scoring record, 34 points. She went from scoring 0 points in the first half, 21 points in the third, 13 in the fourth.
Close them out.
Closer. She's the best one-on-one player in the NBA, and you don't have her on Team USA. Travesty. But shout out to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark being on the same team for the first time ever, and they enjoy themselves. WNBA has a great format. It's a real all-star game.
Too. Yeah, I agree with that.
Competitive all-star game.
I'd be
Adam
fine.
Silver, NBA. Please take notes because this is what the all-star game is look like going forward.
Again, shout out to Jaylen Brown again. for what he was able to
Shout out to Jaylen Brown. And, great game for the WNBA. Great game for women's basketball overall. And Team USA will be fine. This happened in 2021. They still won the gold. So
And
it's
again,
okay.
The competition, of course, in terms
It's WNBA
of
competition. It's
yeah,
not them playing South
It's
Sudan.
not like it's not like
you
the
know.
regular NBA. Those
You know, it's not
other
them playing
teams.
South Sudan
be
or
blowout city,
anything
right?
like that. So,
So,
we all
so
right.
they should be on their way to a gold medal. Matthew, wrapping up the show tonight.
Diana Taurasi got a hero's welcome on that team. She should not be on Team USA this year. I'm sorry. She should.
No, he's out.
6 Olympics, she should.
Hey, Matthew, your wrap up. Close us out today. What are you thinking here Monday?
I mean, I just think it's very interesting with the WNBA. Just sticking with that for
Yeah.
a minute. The issue that I have with the WNBA has always been about marketing and how they push their players to the media and to fans, and they have a lot of they've pinned all these hopes on Caitlin Clark. And look, Caitlin's had a pretty good rookie year. I don't think anybody would say she's played bad. She struggled a little bit. She looks like she's hit her mark, and she's running well. But I'll say this to the WNBA: you need more than Caitlin Clark, and the reason why I say that is we know this from history. So when Bird and Magic went into the NBA, you had the black-white dynamic, and then you had to bolster it with the ABA guys coming in, Moses Malone, Dr. J, that helped boost those numbers and provide exciting basketball to people. You can't just say that it's Caitlin Clark and then not give anybody else any other shine or give anybody else any push. I understand they don't have any control over the media members, but they kind of do. They force feed Caitlin Clark, and look, I get it. She's your cash cow. She's the person that you think makes go.
But Angel Reese is this is popular.
Angel Reese is just as popular. And I got to be honest with you, I think the most disrespected star of any sport is Asia Wilson. I mean, she is dominating at a level that we haven't seen, I don't know, ever in women's basketball. And she rarely gets talked about. She rarely gets any press. And to me, I think if we're talking, if the WNBA really wants to take this thing to the next level, you have to market, you have to push other people, not just Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark is phenomenal. She's had a great year. I think she's going to have a legendary career. But you need more than just one person for what you're trying to do. And as long as you guys keep pushing and force-feeding people's mouths with Caitlin Clark, you're gonna block so many other avenues of business for you.
Asia Wilson is the best player in WNBA. She's the greatest women's basketball player right now, and is pushing towards being the GOAT women's basketball player of all time at her young career right now. She's already the all-time leading scorer in Aces history, passing Becky Hammond and Sophia Young-Malcolm. She's a 2-time MVP already. Should be 3 times, but that's another story, another day.
Got a statue.
Got a statue.
Was named one of the top 100 most influential.
She already has
people
what
in sports.
back-to-back WNBA championships.
In general, I guess I should say.
And her scoring prowess right now, she's on a scoring binge that we haven't seen since the likes of Cynthia Cooper in WNBA.
And a New York Times best-selling author. I mean, it's
And she
the
just
list
now
is pretty crazy.
And you say think about killing cards like that, but even to this, Asia Wilson's been the best player in the WNBA for the last 4 years. She won't get a shoe deal until next season.
What's the thing? It's on the way though. It's signed, sealed, and delivered.
But still, Caitlin came out with a shoe out the gate.
Does she have a shoe? I don't think she does.
Caitlin's gonna get a shoe.
Well, no, I'm
out the
saying
gate.
Sabrina has the big.
Sabrina
shoe
has
right
a
now.
shoe.
That's the big one. Yeah.
Angel got a shoe out the gate.
Sabrina's too.
with
Reebok.
Reebok.
I'm a Reebok guy. Question is my favorite shoe of all time. I have 20 pairs of questions.
Yeah, if anybody should have a shoe, it should have been Asia already. But once that shoe comes out, y'all better buy it.
That is interesting, huh? That Sabrina comes out and she's had a shoe now for 2 years. Huh? I didn't think about that.
And everybody wearing her shoes now. Even male basketball players are wearing the Sabrinas.
Sabrina 2s just came out.
Sabrina 2s
They're
came
all
out,
over
yeah.
the place.
They're very
right
comfortable.
now.
I tried them on before. They're very comfortable.
KD 4s just re-released. I was able to get those KD Nerfs I wanted when I was a kid so bad. Oh, man. Okay, I gotta get back to the Y. We gotta run some game. Anybody ready to run some 5s at the Y? You want to run some 5-on-5, Jason?
You're gonna blow your shit out.
I still gotta get another 10 years, man. I got another 10 years.
On that note.
Well, that'll do it for us guys here on a Monday. A little bit of a late show, but a phenomenal show we're able to get in. Let's get Jason back to Deuce. We've got to go. We got some stuff we got to do here on Monday night.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody. Dennis, thank you very much. We will see you next week.